Welcome to this week's episode of Coffee with a Journalist, brought to you by One Pitch. The guests on our show include some of the most notable journalists from the top US-based publications who cover topics including technology, lifestyle and culture, health, science, consumer products, and business news. We discuss their role, the types of stories they cover, what their inbox looks like, and how they connect with sources. Today, we're speaking with Sasha Lekach, a tech reporter at Mashable. Sasha covers everything transportation and tech for Mashable out of their SF office. That includes self-driving cars, electric vehicles, mass transit, ride-hailing apps, and more. She's been reporting out of her hometown over the years at Bay City News, SFGate, and even made it out of California to write for the Chicago Tribune. On the episode today, Sasha talks more about her inbox filtering system, the different ways her stories come to life, answers an audience question about pitching, and lots more. Let's jump into the episode now.
Welcome, everyone. This is Coffee with a Journalist. I'm Beck Bamberger, founder of BAM, which handles all kinds of crazy venture-backed startups, and also One Pitch, which makes this whole show, which we love because it's about coffee and journalists. Well, sometimes only not coffee, but always a journalist who's always fun to chat with. And today, from Mashable, here we have it, the tech reporter, Miss Sasha Lekach is here. And she's going to tell us all about what she's covering and all her inbox stuff and maybe some good Netflix recommendations. Sasha, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Yeah, we're glad too. Are you up in San Francisco right now?
I am sitting in San Francisco.
Great.
Born and raised. It's my city.
I see that. You're a fan of, you root for UC Davis, you said, but SF native. Used to be at Twitter, used to be at SFGate. You got all types of stuff. Okay. Well, are you drinking coffee or any drink of any sort that we can brag about or talk about?
I am not a coffee drinker, strangely enough, but I am drinking an apple mango banana smoothie, which is great.
Wow. Did you make it yourself?
No, it is.
Ooh, is it one of the
bottle?
Oh, okay. I was going to say it's like a Daily Harvest one where they give you that little cup thing or whatever, but okay. Well, let's chat about your inbox first. That's usually where we start with things. How crazy is it in there and how do you keep it organized?
Ooh, it's a jungle in there. Yeah, I've got 14,000 unread emails.
Oh, so clearly you're not the inbox zero type of lady. Okay.
I aspire to be.
Wow. Okay.
But that doesn't mean I'm not organized. Like, don't let that number scare you.
Okay. I've heard worse. Don't worry.
I like keeping things unread. I know some people do the opposite method.
Yes.
Of everything read, but I prefer unread. I'm a big fan of labels, which are Gmail talk for folders, essentially. Mm-hmm. And so that's how I keep things pretty organized because I can just use the search function really well.
Everyone seems to do that. Everyone's been mentioning that lately. You just keep it all in there and then you search it when you need it.
Exactly. So that's why I always think it's really important to, if you're sending an email, have some good keywords in there. So when I'm doing a search, I'll find it.
The last interview I did, we were just talking about how funny if at the bottom of the pitch is keywords, transportation, Amazon, Bezos, flying cars, whatever. So they pop up easily or something. That's funny.
There you go. All the different ways to describe.
So with unread, so you'll even file an unread email? You'll label it?
Yeah. So I have a lot of automatic filters.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So from certain senders, it'll label certain things. I have an EV label for electric vehicles or autonomous label for autonomous vehicles. And
so clearly you don't open every email, but are you saving every pitch or how do you funnel through the pitches?
Oh, yeah. At this point, I've been at Mashable almost 5 years. So I have a pretty good understanding of like the people who are pitching me things that normally work. So there's some familiar names that come into rotation in my inbox. So I definitely keep my eyes out for that. I think it's a little maybe too manual. I should probably automate this somehow, but just kind of going through every morning and making sure I didn't miss anything important. Obviously I do. Yeah. But the labels really help, especially for like keywords and stuff. Mm-hmm. There we go, the keywords again. But
there you go.
Yeah, and also there's a lot of pitches many other journalists before me have said, that are just not relevant to me at all. And I don't have time to explain to every.
Oh, no, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah. So there's a lot of pitches that you can just carry
Flat
on.
out ignore. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, the human part of me is always like, I know somebody cares out there, but.
Somebody cares. Oh, man. Okay. So for stories that you do, so for example, I saw like this manicure, the robot manicure. I want to talk about that. You had something you even wrote about Jeff Bezos rolling up in Blue Origin from an SUV from Tesla competitor. Like, ooh, that was anyway, how do you come up with stories you wish to pursue? Obviously the ones that are like non-news breaking.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely a give and take. Actually, the robot manicure story is a good example of one of the managing editors seeing a TikTok that was blowing up about someone's robot manicure, and she was like, "Oh, this is in San Francisco." So she hit up the San Francisco office, and I was like, "Yes, I want to go get my nails done by a robot. That sounds."
Was it actually
awesome.
Good?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was a pretty good manicure.
Okay.
I promptly went surfing the next day, and my nails were destroyed. So it was a one-day manicure,
but it was only $8. So
yeah, exactly, $7.99, and it was pretty fun. I don't know, I enjoyed it. I go a lot more into some of the ethical qualms I may have had about it, but in the article I wrote about that a lot. But in terms of just getting like a quick color change, did the job. But yeah, so that's something that kind of more collaborative pitch, I guess you would say, and volunteering as tribute, so to speak.
So that did originate from a pitch?
No, like a pitch internally, like from the managing editor.
Hey, you want to do this? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I assume most newsrooms I've been, like, it gets kind of confusing because we inbound pitches coming from publicity folks, we call those pitches, and then I also am. We call it like pitching my editor on stories.
Exactly. There's lots of pitching happening.
Yeah, just like that's what I feel like my job is all day, just like pitch.
Mm-hmm. So you don't necessarily do like, oh, okay, I'm going to go surfing to like dream up my new story. It's just kind of.
I mean, so that's an example of just one way a story comes to life, and then it can be the other way where, like I'm zoning out, waiting for a great wave, and an epiphany hits me. That happens too. I have a feature coming up about Tesla versus the next generation of EVs, like the Mustang Mach-E and some of the new Polestar cars coming out. And, we have Lucid and Rivian, which I wrote about.
Yeah, there's a lot happening. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I've been doing a lot of, they call it press rides, but basically I get a car for a couple of days and get to try it out and see what it's like to use.
How freaking great is that?
It's really fun. My neighbors think I'm crazy because they're like, you have a different car like every month.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. Oh, but just from that experience, I noticed that certain cars were attracting more attention from strangers, essentially. So kind of came up with this idea about what's happening with status of Tesla versus all these newcomers. So that should be coming out hopefully later this week. But
that's cool.
Yeah, things like that. So it's like kind of a mix of just some ideas that I don't know, cook up or come to me, and other things that come from other places.
Yeah,
and some formal pitches from.
What percentage of pitches ever make it through to a story? Would you say is it like 1%?
Ooh. That's a good question. Does that include all the like not relevant pitches?
Maybe not those, because then I'm sure it's under 1%.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'd say at this point, I feel like people are getting a little more like focused and figuring out patterns of what works and doesn't work. Maybe I'll be generous and say like 25%.
25? Oh, that's huge. Wow.
Yeah, that seems like a lot, but
that seems quite high.
Yeah, I'm probably too high. I don't know. I'm not a big numbers person.
That's all right.
Maybe.
Okay, well that's encouraging. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. Keep people high. Okay.
I'm being generous also in that maybe something that's pitched, I'm like, well, I'm not going to write that story, but it like sparks an idea related. So maybe in that sense.
Mm-hmm. We do have an audience ask here. This one comes from Andrea Veloso Mayer, and she says, how much information do you want provided in that first pitch? Will you take it and write? Or do you prefer to follow up, dig in for more?
Well, that fits in with what I just said.
That does. Go ahead.
Follow up and dig in for more. It's always going to be the little weird detail that you just mention offhand that I'm going to be like, oh, that you really think the story's about a profile about, an executive or somebody on the team. And I'm like, no, it's not about them, but it's about, the really cool, whatever app they developed. Like, we'll focus on that. It might be something related, but it's going to be usually not exactly what is pitched.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good for PR people because I think so often I hear this from my team. It's not the leading thing. It's the second, third thing. That's the one little off story, the one little detail where you're like, ooh, wait, there's something I could use there. And then that becomes the actual meat of the story. So yes, I think now for you to get those little kernels, is it, okay, let's hop on a call real quick? Is it just fill me in with everything? How do you extract those little details that might spark the bigger piece?
Yeah, I guess you do have to initially have the interest for me to be like,
exactly.
This is worth me doing like a background call on. But yeah, usually a call, or if it's something that, it's like, all right, let's set up a phone call with the person you're trying to profile,
team, yep.
whoever it is. Person
Excellent.
who invented this next great invention.
Mind-blowing thing, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we have a fill in the blank part here, Sasha. So let me give you the phrase and you could fill it in from here. The first is, my favorite sources always, ... My
favorite sources don't email me at 9 a.m. Eastern because I'm on the West Coast. But anyways, no, my favorite sources they always provide really great assets, like either if it's a video or photo or like they
got the visuals down pat. Yeah,
because guaranteed somebody, because I'm going to be pitching this idea, and I guarantee someone's going to be like, well, what does it look like? Or do you have a screenshot? Like, okay. So,
I mean, I would think you're dealing with transportation. These are visual, physical things. There would be.
You'd be surprised.
Oh God, that's embarrassing to hear. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and then there's also a lot of like conceptual things.
Mock-ups
in the future, but mock-ups are great. People love mock-ups. Mm-hmm. Rendering. I mean, as long as you're clear, like this is not the real thing.
This is not in existence yet. Yep. Okay. The most annoying sources always
write subject lines. Is that what they're called? Subject lines that have nothing to do with the substance of the email.
Oh no. Like saying hi. That's the subject line. Yeah. No.
Checking in.
Checking.
Yeah.
You'll get a response from me if
you. I don't want to like promote like something that I actually don't want. Then I'm going to be on the hook for responding.
Well, our next question. Well, how about this? Our next question is, or blank. You'll never get a response from me if ...
Oh, usually I would say if you write, hey, Sarah, because my name is Sasha. That one happens a lot. But I think that's just like sloppy reading and
you're
it's like a pretty common name, Sarah.
It is.
You, like your brain
but so is
puts it in.
Sasha. That's it. Come on, people.
Yeah, people can get the difference.
Yeah.
Okay. Or if you like send it like a lot of form pitches and they're like, hey, Sasha at Mashable or at BuzzFeed, how's it going? And you're like, I'm not at BuzzFeed.
Yeah.
So, those are pretty basic.
Yes. Okay. But the best compliment I received about my work was?
That's a good question. People should reflect on the positives more and more.
Yeah.
I've probably gotten, of course, when you say that, the minute I'm thinking of all the angry emails I've gotten from readers, but I'm sure I've gotten some positive things.
Yeah. Do you ever get somebody saying like, oh, because of that article, I actually bought that car or whatever? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know if that's happened, but I think, this was a short-lived pandemic project, but we
Ooh,
were
what?
trying to do like IT help columns. And so I was heading up, like helping people with their basically Zoom problems with Zoom. This was at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And
When everyone didn't know what that was. Yeah.
yeah, we solicited, ask for advice emails. And this one woman had she was teaching a watercoloring class on Zoom. She was like a retired artist, and she was having like so much feedback issues and stuff. And I was able to help her out because she was using her phone with her
Oh,
computer.
no.
And I don't know.
No.
She was
Yeah.
great because she was like, "Oh, that like actually really helped me." Nothing to do with transportation, but I felt like I was
Yeah.
useful.
That was useful. Oh, nice.
Yeah. So the little things.
The little things.
Yeah.
Today's interview will continue after this brief message brought to you by OnePitch. Are you curious to see the unique ways OnePitch helps PR professionals and marketers pitch journalists? Head to onepitch.co to learn about our new OnePitch score and see how easy it is to find the right journalist to pitch your news to. Sign up for your free account today. Now, back to today's episode.
My favorite stories to write about are.
Ooh. I mean, I love to write about what's funky and new in some of these cars coming out. It's really fun to be not just it's obviously cool to drive a cool car, but it is really cool to drive a cool car. But I love when I'm able to find like a little feature or just like something that isn't what everyone's writing about. Like those little moments. I thought maybe I'm tooting my own horn here, but the Polestar 2 came out, or maybe it's all the new Volvos and the Polestars, and they're built in with Google built inside, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Wait, so you can like Google from the dashboard?
Yeah, you got the Google Assistant is built into the car.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like instead of no offense, but like the built-in like nav system in some of these, like cars, you're like, what is this? Like, this is bad. And so Volvo and Polestar were just like, let's just bypass that and put Google straight into this. And
wow, impressive.
Yeah, and so they have Google Maps because like everyone's using either Waze or Google Maps.
Yes.
In my experience, like very few people are using anything else. And so this just puts it straight into the car on the screen, like right on the dashboard. And I just basically wrote a little love letter about how I think like that's the future of
it's right
car
there.
dashboards. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. So those little things
like that.
I wrote a really fun story. This was a couple years ago now about fart mode on the Teslas.
What?
Yeah, you probably
what is
been in a
that?
Tesla. You can it's a joke, but you can make it fart.
Oh, just so you get like the motor sound?
No, like actual fart.
What?
Yeah,
I don't know about this. Oh God, that sounds like an Elon Musk thing. Okay, I will look that up.
There's some good.
That's like a dad joke. Oh God.
Yes, it's a dad joke that made it into a vehicle.
Wow.
It's very Elon Musk.
Oh God, that's funny. Okay.
But instead of writing like a review about the Tesla Model 3, I literally just wrote about fart mode.
There you go. Okay, you can follow up with me if, like, via email, like once, 3 times, 5 times, never times.
Oh, like if I don't respond?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
The big, like, checking in, that dreaded email.
Right. I would say at least twice.
Okay. At least twice. Generous. Okay.
Yeah. The first time I probably got buried, or like between like midnight and 5 a.m. Pacific time. Mm-hmm. It's just a weird space in my inbox.
Wait, do you get pitches during that time?
Yeah, I feel like pitches come in at weird times.
Wow. Huh.
I mean, maybe more like 6 a.m.
because they're on the East Coast time. Yeah.
But stuff just gets lost in that weird.
Well, in the 14,000 unread emails. Mm-hmm. I can imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
But those are mostly like from long ago.
Got you.
Not that long ago. I cleared it out a couple months ago.
But it creeps back up. That's the problem.
Yeah. I got it down to like
God.
1,000 and then
God.
it just grows. There's a lot of auto-generated
Got it.
pitches.
Okay. The last best thing I ate or cooked was?
Ooh. Whew. Right now, so my friend's backyard has a plum tree. And so we picked a bunch of plums.
Yeah.
And just this is happening right now. Like my house right now smells like plums in a slow cooker because we put a bunch of plums in the slow cooker to make plum butter. And
wait, what?
Yeah, it smells really good in the house. I haven't eaten it yet, but
oh my
cooking.
Gosh, that sounds delectable.
Yeah.
Oh, rich and ooh. Is this a new thing? Is this the new COVID, thing? Besides, after sourdough bread, we're now doing butter.
I don't know, but it's just jam that's been cooked even longer.
God, that sounds
it gets
fabulous.
A little bit. It's like apple butter if you've ever had apple butter.
Yes.
Yeah, just instead of apples, it's plum.
Okay. God, that's plums. A new one.
Yeah, so I'll let you know how it tastes.
Please.
I'm gonna have some for lunch after this.
Great. Okay, quarantine has taught me, besides how to make plum butter.
Oh yeah, plum butter was just a last night activity.
Okay, yes.
Quarantine has taught me. Ooh, I got back into guitar, so it's taught me to play guitar again and to practice.
Oh, and were you previously playing, it sounds like, and now you picked it back up?
I got really into guitar when I was 16.
Okay.
I am no longer 16.
Yeah, a little while.
Had forgotten about guitar. I was, quarantine. I had a little bit of a weird situation with quarantine, but I was in a house with a woman who's an excellent guitar player, and she had a guitar that I could use, so I picked it up again. And
oh, fun!
Yeah,
and then great. She was there. Maybe she could even help you. Did she teach you or do anything like that?
No,
okay.
she and it's a long story. It's a long story, but basically, she had a guitar that it was a travel guitar, and it was a complicated story. But she left it for me.
Yeah,
and
you
now
can play guitar. That's the point.
Yeah, I got some new apps. Like when I was 16, there was
nice. No, there was no apps. There was no apps at all. Yeah.
So now I have a new app on my phone. You can tune your guitar with an app. Also a great
Yes, I've seen one of those. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
my friend plays guitar and she pulls out all her little fancy apps. Yep.
Yeah, it's a really cool.
It's neat how that helps and evolves.
Yeah, and there's
in the music
great
space.
lessons online. This one service, I think you can pay for some part of it, but they offer a bunch of free YouTube videos for beginners.
Sounds fabulous. Good time to learn guitar.
Yeah, it's been good. Get my finger strength back.
Yeah. Okay, so what my favorite Sunday is?
Sunday?
Yes.
Doing something on a Sunday?
Yeah.
My favorite Sunday is this is another quarantine activity, but I picked up surfing, I mentioned before. So even though I'd rather go on a weekday when there's way fewer people, I have work during the week.
Yes.
So a good Sunday activity, a good Sunday is heading out and catching some waves. But
isn't it freezing though in San Francisco? I'm in San Diego and it is freezing here.
Oh, it's nice and warm in San Diego. What are you talking about?
Oh God, are you wearing double, the thickest wetsuit or what?
I have a thick wetsuit, and it's actually nice and toasty in my wetsuit.
I would imagine. Is it a dry suit even or no? It's just one of those thick rubber. Okay. Wow.
It seems like it would be colder here, but actually water temperature on the Pacific is pretty consistently cold.
The whole entire coast. Yeah. It's awful. It's nowhere tropical at all. Yeah, no.
It's not tropical. No,
oh, wow. Well, good for you. Brave. I'm sure that wakes you up too.
It's like you were saying earlier, like a really good place to just think. It's very meditative, I found. You kind of have to be one with, you have to accept what's coming at you. Can't really change what's going to happen on the water.
Yeah, it's coming. It's not. It's there. It's yeah.
Yeah, so it's been good at helping me
it.
chill out.
Oh, that's good. Okay, yeah.
But the worst part is taking off and on the wetsuit.
Yeah, those are heinous to put on and off for sure, especially when they're wet and it's coming off. Oh God, I've only dipped my toes in the water a few times, like as in the ocean with wetsuits, and yeah, that's something.
I really want to make it down to San Diego though.
So you should. You should. There's sharks down here. Lots of seaweed. It's it's a good time. That's the problem. That is the problem, Sasha. For me personally,
I'm such a beginner that I'd like to think that I'm.
They're like, forget her.
Yeah, they're like, this beach is too crowded. They don't want to go where I am.
Yeah,
I'm also pretty close to the shore. I'm not good enough to some people
get out there. Yeah, way out there.
Find that wave close. In the middle of the ocean. I'm not there.
Okay, noted. Oh, okay. Now, Sasha, what are you reading, listening to, watching? We'll really take anything.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
I'm part of a book club.
Oh, really? Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, it's a fun
How often do you guys meet?
I think we aim for once a month, but it's mostly every 6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, but next week we're meeting and we are reading, which is, I don't think we even intended to do this, but it's perfect timing with the Olympics because we're reading The Boys in the Boat about.
How is that?
So far, so good. I'm listening to the audiobook.
Okay.
I'm 27% through.
Okay.
At 1.35 speed because I gotta finish it.
Gotta get that in. Yep, I hear you.
But it's so far so good. It's very history full. If you're from the Pacific Northwest, it seems like it'd be very
this is your jam.
Intriguing because you'd know all the little towns he's mentioning. But learning a lot about rowing sounds really hard.
It looks really hard. Have you ever looked at those people rowing on a lake? You're like, that's you're not having a good time. No.
Yeah. But
someone's
they're
yelling
really
at you.
Strong. There was just the book was just talking about how rowing takes as much energy as 2 full games of basketball or something crazy.
I keep hearing that all those new rowing companies, where they want to set you up with a rower inside, are it uses your full body. And I'm like, I must be doing something wrong because my arms are only exhausted, not my legs. They're just kind of going back and forth horizontally. I must be, I think I'm doing something wrong. Anyway.
Yeah, we just did at Mashable.com, did a review of, there's a new, kind of like the Peloton.
There's another one? Oh gosh. Yeah. There's always more. Yeah, there's always more and more. Yeah.
They just take up a lot of space though in your house. That's my biggest hesitancy on buying one for the house.
Yeah. Some of them though, they fold up and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So you can put it away like a bike or something. And I'm like, but then you're looking at I don't know.
Yeah. I'd rather, once my gym hopefully opens up again, that's where I do rowing. Cause I'm like, you guys can keep this equipment.
Keep that thing there.
Yeah. I don't need this in my living room.
That's right. So. I agree. Okay. Totally different topic, Sasha. Oh, unless you have do you have anything else?
Oh, I was just going to say, you had said any good Netflix recommendations.
Or whatever. Audibles, podcasts, anything. I mean, obviously beside this podcast.
I'm just really enjoying the 2nd season of Never Have I Ever.
I haven't. Okay. Tell us about this. Is it wonderful? Do you love it? What would you say?
I love it. It's Mindy Kaling's, I think she's the director, producer, show.
She's so great.
Everything. Yeah. But I think they're playing high schoolers. I don't know if they're actually high schoolers in real life, but the actors I think they're great. I think a little bit more sophisticated teen type show, but I don't know, maybe I'm just projecting that onto it and it's super juvenile, but I think it's great. And it's narrated by John McEnroe, the tennis player.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Which is super funny and random. And there's just a lot of little details like that. Yeah.
I wonder how you get that gig. You're like, wait, I play professional tennis, but then I suddenly got a voiceover thing.
Yeah. They make fun of themselves.
That's great.
It's a cool melding of, I don't know if you've read any of Mindy Kaling's books.
A few things, and she is hilarious.
Yeah, I enjoy her type of humor, so maybe that's with me. I was like cracking up. I was watching an episode last night.
Oh, I love it. Okay, I'm putting it on my list.
Anything that makes me laugh like that, that's a good sign.
Well, maybe something that will also make you laugh. What is the future of journalism? See, I told you.
The future of journalism. I think this could go in a lot of directions. I guess there's like the optimistic direction where I could see a kind of a return to more local news and really caring about a cliche term, but like the hyper local news, like what's happening on your block. Return to that. I started in local news, was my intro to my journalism career, and like people really care when it's about like their community.
Yeah, people are into it for sure.
I could see, especially with, I don't know if Nextdoor is going to be part of this, but I don't know. I just get my notifications from my neighborhood, and they're invested in their block and their neighbors and what's happening. So I could see the future being local, like the future of journalism is local. But then I could also see just like keep going in this path of, at least in American journalism, very divided country and different types of news and of distrust of the media, which is a whole other
racket,
scary future.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, through not marriage, but somebody in my greater family space is one of those doesn't believe what the media is telling us.
He's also part of Illuminati and whatever else, maybe.
Yeah, who knows? And she just doesn't trust mainstream media or whatever you want to call it. It just never makes sense because she's a retired older woman. She's just so concerned about, I mean, maybe she's concerned for me and my generation, but for her herself, I'm like, a lot of these things that you get so worked up about are like, they're not going to be around for them.
Immaterial. Yes. Immaterial for you. Why are you stressing? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you have a nice retired
like old
life.
Person syndrome or something. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. I think when people get older, they get very worked up about these huge issues. And I'm like, I don't know that this is going to affect your life ever.
What is that? I wonder if there's like a psychological term that we've done that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it a function of time? Is it a function of like regrets or something? It's definitely a form of like acting out in a way, but it's definitely like an older thing. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, but for their sake, I hope that journalism does become, it kind of grounds people more or connects people more to their specific communities and what's happening now where you are. So there's this very like amorphous, like not like, oh, like this is for the greater good, or this is, I think you can do a lot of good at looking inwardly or locally. Mm-hmm. This is just to say that I'm a little stressed out about all that. But.
There you go. Yes. Yes. Well, we can maybe go to something more fun than thinking about old people's stressors and all the things that they maybe or maybe are not doing. So let's do our Mad Lib, and I will read it back to you, but we'll first start with the little words and we'll see what we get. And sometimes they're fun, sometimes they're on point, sometimes they're just plain silly. We've had some definitely wild ones, so we will see. Okay. Let's start. So first thing is an emotion.
Excited.
Excited. I like it. An adjective.
Delighted.
Delighted. Great. What's another adjective? There's only a few more.
Grotesque, an adjective?
Grotesque. Yes. Okay. A greeting of any time. Of any kind.
What's up?
What's up? A verb.
Decide.
Decide. And I'm sure you're hearing the sirens in the background. We're just going to keep going because it's life in the city. Yeah. Okay. A noun.
Disco ball.
Disco ball. Fun. Haven't heard of that before. An adjective.
Scrappy.
Excellent. A cringeworthy PR term or phrase, like just following up.
Oh, I'm gonna do a little scroll through my inbox.
Yeah, there you go.
I think just checking in. I don't know.
Yeah, just checking in. That is a phrase. And then what about a part of a pitch?
Oh, headshot.
An amount of time.
4 days.
4 days. The name of a real person.
Elon Musk.
Put him in. And then an emotion.
Upset. Is that an emotion?
Yes. Okay. Here we go. Sasha, when I think of the future of journalism, I feel excited. The pitches I receive have gone from delightful to grotesque. If I receive a pitch that starts with "What's up?" I decide. When I write stories on disco balls, I get scrappy. And my favorite pitches include just checking in and very specific headshots. I normally take around 4 days to respond to emails, but if it's Elon Musk, I will respond immediately. If you do get a response back from me, you should know that I'm very upset for you. There you go, Sasha.
That's pretty accurate.
It kind of is, and varied and visual. I love it. Great job on that.
Yeah. I feel like Elon Musk is the most unattainable CEO to get a hold of.
I don't think he talks to media often. Well,
no.
He's very
just like
choosy.
On Twitter.
Yes, exactly. He has his own media verticals. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, Sasha, thank you so much for this. We had such a good time. I love it. I hope you get some more cars to test drive. That sounds absolutely delightful.
Yeah, maybe I'll come and take one down to San Diego.
Yes, you should, to do your surf trip. Oh my gosh, that could be a whole article, Sasha. See?
There we go.
See? There you go. Perfect. Write that down. I love it.
Going on the ideas list.
There you go.
I'm game.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Coffee with the Journalist featuring Sasha Lekach from Mashable. If you enjoy listening to our show, make sure to subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and anywhere else you listen to podcasts. And if you have a moment, please leave us a review to share your thoughts about the show and today's guest. To learn more about the latest tools on OnePitch and to subscribe to our weekly podcast newsletter, head to our website at onepitch.co. We'll see you all next week with a brand new guest and even more insights about the journalists you want to learn more about. Until then, start great stories.